There's a lot going on in November, but first, drop whatever you're doing and watch the following movies. By the time the calendar rolls over into December, these films will be gone from Netflix. Whether you're a fan of old-school musicals, sports comedies, horror flicks, or neo-noir thrillers, you're sure to find something you'll love. Before Alfonso Cuarón's black and white masterpiece Roma rocked the awards circuit, before Gravity and Children of Men kept audiences' eyes glued to the screen, and before Cuarón took a trip to Hogwarts with Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, the filmmaker showed off his funny side with Y Tu Mama Tambien. In this raunchy but heartfelt comedy, two teenagers hit the road with a recently separated woman in her late 20s, exploring their sexualities and learning more about themselves and each other in the process. It's a simple setup, but Y Tu Mama Tambien soars thanks to Cuarón and his brother Carlos's razor-sharp script and the movie's standout cast. The two teens are portrayed by Gael Garcia Bernal and Diego Luna, who broke onto the scene with this movie, paving the way for his appearances in Rogue One: A Star Wars Story and Narcos Mexico. Finally, their older companion is played by Spanish actress Maribel Verdú, who'd go on to star in Pan's Labyrinth just a few years later. As per usual, Cuarón uses a deeply personal story to explore bigger issues like adult sexuality and class inequality in his native Mexico. Politics and social commentary don't overwhelm the plot, the characters are still front and center, and those elements are deftly woven into the narrative as a whole. It's a tale as old as time, or at least as old as 1591, when William Shakespeare first introduced the world to Romeo and Juliet. Boy meets girl, boy and girl fall in love, boy and girl's families don't approve, and bad things happen to pretty much everyone. But this time, it's got dancing. Cool! You probably don't need more of a reminder than that. After all, West Side Story is a bona fide Hollywood classic, and has been for close to 60 years. The film, which transplants Romeo and Juliet to Manhattan and transforms the Capulets and Montagues into the Jets and the Sharks, won 10 Oscars, including Best Picture, making it the most awarded musical in Academy history. It features one of Natalie Wood's very best performances, vibrant and energetic cinematography, and a soundtrack that contains some of the most beloved show tunes of all time. There's really no excuse not to revisit one of the most popular musicals ever made before it's gone. The members of the punk band The Ain't Rights didn't ask for this. They didn't realize that their latest gig was at a remote neo-Nazi skinhead bar until it was too late. They didn't mean to catch sight of a murder victim. And they definitely didn't plan on getting locked in the club's green room with an armed guard while the owners figure out what to do with them.
We sit and we wait.
And we die?
Not if you sit and you wait.
Green Room is a tense little horror movie that doesn't shy away from the hard stuff. Underneath Green Room's exploitation flick setup, you'll find a movie that's remarkably well made, with brutally visceral cinematography, a smart script, and one heck of a cast. Anton Yelchin, Alia Shawkat, Imogen Poots, and Macon Blair all turn in amazing performances, while Patrick Stewart's against-type turn as the skinhead leader really has to be seen to be believed. If you're squeamish about blood, Green Room might not be for you. Otherwise, trust the 20-something leading critics who put Green Room on their best movies of 2015 lists. This one is a wild ride. Drive, Nicholas Winding Refn's 2011 crime drama, just oozes style. From the neon-soaked car chases down Los Angeles' forgotten streets, to Ryan Gosling's silk scorpion-adorned jacket, to the way Refn effortlessly blends grindhouse tropes with European art house fare, Drive is relentlessly, unapologetically cool. Even better, that's not nearly all of what Drive has going for it. It's also innovative and guaranteed to keep you on the edge of your seat. You've never seen anything quite like it. In Drive, Gosling plays an unnamed stunt driver and getaway man who finds himself wrapped up in an ever-growing criminal conspiracy after he befriends his new neighbor, her son, and her ex-con husband. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Drive features actors like Carey Mulligan, Oscar Isaac, and Bryan Cranston, while Albert Brooks steals every scene he's in as the movie's main villain.
Any dreams you have, or plans, or hopes for your future, think you're going to have to put that on hold. For the rest of your life, you're going to be looking over your shoulder.
Drive is like a fairy tale crossed with Grand Theft Auto, and its stripped-down, neo-noir charms are hard to resist. Critics thought so too. Drive scored Refn a Best Director award at the Cannes Film Festival and inspired a whole slew of imitators. Trust us, this is one you absolutely must catch before it races away. November may mark the end of the Halloween season, but you don't need ghosts, witches, or monsters hanging around to find some scares. After all, the most terrifying stories are the ones that are real. Just check out Zodiac, David Fincher's 2007 film about the real-life hunt for one of America's most notorious serial killers. In the late 60s and early 70s, the Zodiac Killer, whose real identity still remains a mystery, taunted the public by mailing coded letters and pieces of evidence to newspapers, daring both police and reporters to track him down. Unlike other serial killer movies, Zodiac focuses on the investigation, not the murders themselves. The main characters are journalists and detectives, played by the likes of Jake Gyllenhaal, Mark Ruffalo, and Robert Downey Jr. The action focuses on the nitty-gritty procedural details that drive the manhunt forward, and the scares come from the Zodiac Killer's long-term influence on everyone involved with the case. Zodiac points the finger at a potential suspect, and while it never fully implicates the man, the killer's identity is almost beside the point. As a period piece, a historical drama, a procedural thriller, and a peek at the obsessions that drive people to try to solve murder mysteries, Zodiac is Fincher at his best. Make sure to take a few minutes this November to check out Stand and Deliver. This 1988 drama tells the story of a real-life schoolteacher, Jaime Escalante, who embarked on a mission to make his working-class, mostly Latino students' lives better. Officially, Escalante did so by introducing an AP calculus program to his school, helping his young charges reach their full potential. Unofficially, he also protected them from racism, low self-esteem, allegations of cheating, and Escalante's cynical co-workers, all of whom thought the teacher was wasting his time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do you got? 54. Yeah.
Stand and Deliver netted Edward James Olmos an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor for the lead role, but its historical importance extends much further than the awards circuit. In December 2011, the Library of Congress decided to include Stand and Deliver in the National Film Registry, citing both its inspirational content and its place at the forefront of a new wave of Latino-made films that swept through the industry in the 80s. Besides all that, Stand and Deliver is also a wonderful, heartwarming story. If you're searching for something everyone can enjoy, look no further. Years before he became known for spectacles like the anti-hero-driven beat-em-up Suicide Squad or the high-fantasy cop procedural Bright, David Ayer made a name for himself directing small, gritty crime dramas about police in Los Angeles. Of those, End of Watch is among his best. End of Watch's story focuses on the bond between two partners as they're embroiled in a gang war. Not only is it a touching tale about friendship and loyalty, but Ayers' innovative directing makes the film surprisingly intimate and, as a result, extremely effective. End of Watch's two co-stars, Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena, spent 5 months training under a former LAPD officer to learn the skills they needed to bring officers Taylor and Zavala to life. A large portion of the movie was filmed using dash and body cams, while Gyllenhaal, whose character is filming the duo's adventures, performed some of the cinematography himself, using a handheld camera while acting in some scenes. Shooting took place in some of Los Angeles' seediest and most dangerous neighborhoods, giving it an unmatched sense of place and time. End of Watch also deserves praise for avoiding some big cop movie cliches, its natural dialogue, and the chemistry between its two leads.
I want to have a daughter, man. That'd be so cool.
Just don't let her date cops.
She's not dating anyone.
Okay.
Ever.
All right.
End of Watch isn't a true story, but thanks to Ayer, it feels true. And that goes a long, long way. The professional baseball season ends in October, but thankfully, there are a few more weeks to enjoy America's favorite pastime in a more cinematic fashion. Yes, Bad News Bears is about the little leagues, not the major ones. But this 2005 remake of the beloved comedy captures everything you love about baseball: the hard-fought triumphs, the heartbreaking losses, and all those screaming children. Bad News Bears came out just a couple of years after Billy Bob Thornton terrorized kids in malls everywhere in Bad Santa. And while Thornton has traded his red long johns for a washed-up pitcher's mitt here, he's working in the same crude, misanthropic vein. Good thing, too. As the title suggests, the Bears are legitimately terrible at baseball. It's going to take someone with a very specific set of skills to whip this team of misfits into shape.
I know it stings a little bit, but that's worth it.
Like most sports movies, Bad News Bears ultimately has a very sweet core, and the film's family-friendly PG-13 rating ensures that things don't get too outrageous before the movie's credits roll. Still, director Richard Linklater is an old hand when it comes to making this kind of movie, and Thornton is a natural comedian. If you miss the smell of freshly cut grass and the sounds of the ballpark, it's hard to do much better. Thanks for watching. Click the links in our video to watch more from Netflix Film Club. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the latest exclusive videos, plus hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.